Hello and welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute-a-day podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse, recorded here in the dining room of the Bible Bistro, located in Sharonville, Ohio. Hey there, friend. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. Today in the Bible Bistro, we're going to look at verses 11 through 13 in Psalm 40. This is of the choir master, a psalm of David. And hey, before we jump into these verses, let me just remind you that I'm asking everybody to share. Share Daily Dose Radio with your friends on your social media outlet, no matter what that is. You can share Daily Dose Radio with them, and that might encourage some folks to come and join us as we study the Psalms verse by verse. Psalm 40 is just absolutely wonderful, isn't it? It's just beautiful. Especially what we had yesterday with Hebrews speaking of Jesus and how Psalm 40 is actually, looking forward to the time of Christ. Actually, the foundation for the argument that the Hebrew evangelist made there in chapter 10. And then we had 9 and 10, which, we could put right into the mouth of the Savior. He preached righteousness in the great congregation. Now, today we come to verse 11, 12, and 13, and let me read those for us. Withhold not thy tender mercies from me, O Lord. Let thy loving kindness and thy truth continually preserve me. For innumerable evils have compassed me about. Mine iniquities have taken hold upon me, so that I am not able to look up. They are more than the hairs of mine head. Therefore my heart faileth me. Be pleased, O Lord, to deliver me. O Lord, make haste to help me. So that's that last verse, verse 13. I really should include that with what we're going to do tomorrow. I'll come back tomorrow and read 13 through 17, because 13 and 17 act as its own little section, because 13 through 17 is exactly what is written in Psalm 70. So if we look ahead to Psalm 70, these verses, or these words, come over to us again in Psalm 70. So we'll treat those separately tomorrow. But notice the prayer that's being made here. We had this, the Messiah, sacrifice and offerings you did not desire. Lo, I come, in the volume of the book it is written of me to do thy will, O God. And then we have the Messiah speaking here. I have preached righteousness, I've not hid. I've declared, I've not concealed. And then we come back to this prayer of the psalmist. One moment we're standing in the temple with Christ, hearing him speak, and the next minute we're listening to the psalmist now as he continues this prayer. His first prayer, or his first statements up there, were all about salvation and how that happened. But now we have this prayer it sounds very familiar to me. Withhold not thy tender mercies from me, O Lord. Let thy loving kindness and truth continually preserve me. Why does he ask that? Verse 12. Innumerable evils have compassed me about. So you see, the believer now goes to the Lord in prayer, and how's he praying? Well, he's not praying for salvation. He's praying for mercy and truth to preserve him, because now he realizes where he lives. Just like the psalmist in Psalm 120, when he, looked up and saw that he was at the tents of Kedar, way out away from the city of Jerusalem, and he needed to get back because the people there were not God's people. And he realizes that now, and I would imagine that David, writing Psalm 120, could say the same thing. Innumerable evils have compassed me about. Mine iniquities have taken hold on me. I am not able to look up. They are more than the hairs of my head, therefore my heart fails me. So he has reason to pray, and of course we all have the same reason to pray, don't we? Sin gets in the way. Sin has a way of reducing us, doesn't it? And that's a good thing. It's a good thing when sin reduces us, so that we can learn to keep his word, that we can learn who we're to depend on, where our stability is. So that's all good. And we'll see tomorrow the continuation of this prayer in 13 through 17, which is repeated for us in Psalm 70. So I hope you'll join me then here on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. For more fresh and delicious Bible studies, podcasts, books, and more, check out the Bible Bistro online and on YouTube. Join me again next time for Daily Dose Radio.